welcome, Caroline.
Thank you so much, Jo, for having me.
Don't know if you saw that I've named my little podcast Elevate.
Yes.
So obviously we've got elevation in cycling, especially mountain biking, and just to elevate women in the sport. So that was basically a little play on the word.
Thank you very much. It's very creative, and thanks for having me.
Okay, so before we get into cycling, what do you do? What is your job, Caroline?
I get that quite a lot. People think I do this full time. I'm actually an HR manager for a company called Red Cloud. It's a UK-based company. We are in e-commerce business. So I look after the whole entire South Africa in all regions. So I get to work anytime, anywhere, and but that's remotely, fully remote.
Quite a responsibility, number one, and it's also working with people.
Yeah.
Which I think is your saving grace in the cycling world, being able to work with people and communicate with people.
Yeah. So I think for me, just background-wise, yes, I studied psychology, studied HR, and that's how I got into the field of human resources. So, but my passion within that is talent management. So that's where the whole passion of teaching comes from, because that is, HR is so broad. You've got employee relationships, which is a lot of conflict handling, which is not the nice part, but it's part of our job. But I think for me, where I thrive and I do very well and I enjoy is in the talent management, where you actually groom from the ground up and you see the employees in the workplace flourish because of their skills.
And that's definitely filtering through. So that's definitely filtering through to your MLC, your Matsimela Ladies Skills Clinics. What is the criteria to join MLC?
So the criteria to join MLC, it's 4 things. You just need to have a bike, you need to have a helmet, you need to have a registration fee, and you have to have a winning attitude. That is it. I don't even ask you what you do for a living. I don't care. You just need to have those 4 things to be able to start.
And no cycling experience?
No cycling experience.
At all?
At all. You just need a bike and a helmet.
So whether you borrow it from your son or your husband or your daughter, your auntie, your uncle.
That's actually how it started. It was bikes of kids in the garage, and ladies just wanted to start. And I said, bring that one. And then let's start.
It's so inspirational what you've started here. And I just, from my point of view, obviously being in the industry for so long, is we need to find out what is the formula for the longevity of it. Have you thought about that?
I do think about it all the time. And that's what keeps the values core, because I feel like if we do it well and it impacts each and every one of the queens that join, it will be a ripple effect. It will roll out. It's a chain. So the experience is the most important thing, because once that is great, they're going to tell their friends, they're going to tell their colleagues, and that is how we replicate, and that is how we make the circle bigger.
And obviously, you've been going now for 4 years?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And you've got a lot of people that come back to help out. How do you manage that? Is it just out of the kindness of their hearts, and they feed off their leader, the Queen Mother?
So I think like attracts like. So of course the vision and the dream is to have a proper income generating, so that people can actually also, because it's their time, right? It's their time, and time is money. So, but we are not there yet. And we didn't want those things to be the barriers to start and the barriers to entry. So it is on a voluntary basis. And that is why the experience needs to be is so important. So the volunteers, it's volunteer. So there's no, you need to come so many days, because there's so many of us, everyone comes and helps out. I've got ladies that I started with from 2020, they are still here. And some, they come back, some they leave. So it is producing itself in a way. But of course, in a longevity of it, we would like to make it more sustainable and actually bring the cultures and elevate it to the
and
next
function
level.
more as a business,
Yeah.
I suppose, at the end of the day.
Well, it is functioning as a business, but I think the most important thing is it's an NPO. And that is the reason why it was born. It was to give back to the community. And that is the essence of why Matsimela Ladies exist.
And why did you choose yellow?
Yellow is sun. Yellow is light. And I think maybe just not from the color. A lot of people say, why Matsimela? Not just because it's me, as in Caroline, but Matsimela happens to be my maiden. No, not my maiden.
You're married.
Yes. What do you call that in English?
It's your married name.
My marriage name, right?
Yeah.
Which I love.
Good job.
But I think more than anything, it's what it means. So it actually means the root.
Wow.
Hutsima is the root. So Matsimela is a root that most of the time grows in the stream of the river or something like that. So So that is why it is Matsimela Ladies, because we are growing the seed. We are growing this plant. We are growing it. And it's for beginners to say you come as a seed and we grow you and you can then produce fruits.
I did not know that. That is, you learn something new every day.
Yes. So that is why it was not Caroline or it wasn't whatever. It was about what is the purpose of what we are doing and what we want to achieve.
So it's a bit of a coincidence in a way. It's
Absolutely.
just fortuitous that your surname, your married surname, has that meaning of the growing from the roots.
Yeah. So that's what it means.
Oh. See, and I've known you for 4 years and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I should have done some research. Hey?
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's one of those. And I think that aligns to the color, because then it comes to what do we want? We want the sunshine. We want the bright. We want the golden. We want, like happiness. That's what our values were actually came out from the root, from what we want to achieve and how we want to make the circle bigger.
And I think yellow is such a vibrant color. You see it from such a distance. And when there are 20, 30, 40 of you coming down the road or down the trails, it's very obvious that it's the Cabo.
And my house is yellow.
The Cabo Yellow Ladies. Your house is yellow.
My house is yellow.
Outside.
Yeah.
And I see you've got your yellow braids and almost yellow braids.
Everything yellow. It's just, and it has, funny enough, I didn't realize it was my color. But I started now being conscious, and even my family showing me pictures from like young. It's always been my color, but I wasn't conscious about it.
Oh no, it's really special. I mean, what you've created is super special, and I hope you are aware of that how special it is.
No, I
am. On your support systems. Obviously, we've just spoken about the ladies that come back and help out and volunteer. What is your family support like?
Sure, those are my anchors. So I come from a very close, small family. And my dad used to run comrades, and we always used to go and support him. So for us, or for me growing up, it's always been a thing. Like it's always been, we're going, even though we're not running, but we're supporting dad. And the whole family and the kids and everybody goes. And then, of course, I then started running first. And it was just a thing. Like my husband will just be at the water point, says, I'm not running. I am not doing any of that. But I will be there and give you what you need. So I think that's been the support structure. So the kids grew up like that. My brother-in-law is a runner as well. So it's always been like that. So even if sometimes I need help, my my family can always be able to be there, support,
Sure.
take the kids. They understand. And I think that is what has helped. And that is why also the ethos or the methodology of Matsimela comes from that you can't do it alone. You need to come from a support. There needs to be someone who will take care of the kids, who will help you to cook, who will help you to drive there. So it has to be a whole lot of that first.
Team effort
and at home, and then it will be easier to replicate even in your sport because you have that.
So why did you choose cycling and not running?
It's easier. So I think, funny enough, I don't know. It's just I fell in love with cycling. So I started with running to lose the weight, and I wanted to do 94.7 because it just looked cool, and I just loved it. It was just me. I could just, running was an effort, and
there's no downhills where you can freewheel when you're running.
There was nothing like that. And now cycling, and at the time was just to do 94.7. I didn't even know about mountain biking world. I didn't even know about track world. I didn't know about any of that world. So it's been really a journey, and I'm enjoying the discovery of everything.
And obviously the culture of cycling, that's something that you're expanding into the African community, which is quite new. I would say probably in the last 10, 12 years, where there's been an awareness that's been building within the African community of cycling being a sport. I think we had a bit of a chat about that previously, where bicycles have been seen as transport and not as recreation.
Absolutely. So I think with that, growing up, we had BMX as kids, but it was more for a toy. It wasn't really a sport, It was more of a toy. You go buy bread with it, and you see the adults going to work, commuting every day. When we walk to school, you see the adults commuting with their bicycles. So it was just like a car. It was like a means of transport more than a sport. So I think for me, when I joined running, I had a massive community. So I came in also as a beginner to lose weight. I was the heaviest, and I had people who took me through the journey voluntarily. So, and I had people checking up on me, and I had this amazing community, and it was really beautiful. We used to have awards. We used to have these beautiful things. You do comrades, and then there will be post-race events, and so it was
to celebrate.
It was
little successes.
Really, really amazing. And when I started cycling, it was you ride, and especially road, you ride, finish, get your medal, go home.
And check Strava or check the results.
Yeah. And I was like, oof, I love what I'm doing, but I miss the community that I had in running. So how do you incorporate these two? And that is how it started, to say, let's start with people that are like you, that look like you, that have the same challenges as you, that also want to just maybe learn and lose the weight. So it's not at your high-end performance yet, but just to start, because that's what happened with me. And I was feeling very lonely. I didn't have that community in the cycling when I started. So I wanted to bring that.
So you created it.
And I created it.
That was your solution.
That's it.
And it is a subject that gets skirted around quite a bit, is weight, especially with women.
Yeah.
But I think cycling, because it's not as load-bearing as running, it really makes doing exercise for a heavier lady easier.
Yeah. So
not easy, but just...
it's not easy. So, but I think it is, it's gentle on the body. I do get a lot of questions to say, Caroline, my weight, will I be able to cycle? Will that small chair be able to take my bums? Because of course we are gifted and we are African women. I get that all the time. So I say, if I can do it, And I'm also gifted. So, hello.
I love that. I need to use that. I'm gifted.
I'm gifted. And I think also that's the stereotype that we're also trying to break, that if you look at the bike, it was meant for certain type of people, you know, and you look at the clothes, they were also meant for certain type of people. And you look at all those other barriers. So if we're not entering the sport and changing that and requesting the designers to design something that fits us, then we will never be able to change the narrative or the stereotypes for the next generation.
And to progress.
And to elevate.
Oh, you're my favorite person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and do you have any cycling goals in the next year or two? Obviously, after your injury.
Yeah.
We've both been through injuries in the last couple of months. It's a challenge coming back. But do you have any cycling goals personally?
So I think, to be honest with you, yes, I would still like to tick Cape Epic. I know I talk about it all the time. It scares me all the time. It's just something that's just too big, but yet I feel like it can be attained, but it's just too big. I'm not there yet, but it is my aspiration. So everything that I think I do, it's more to advance my own skills, my own fitness, and my own mental strength, and work with amazing people that I'm surrounded with, and the coaches and everybody else, just to get me there. So that's where I'm at.
And who's your coach at the moment?
Sure, I've got two coaches at the moment that are working with me. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
You'll share that with me privately.
Yeah.
The graduation process.
Yes.
That is something unique in cycling, in mountain bike. Well, you do it for road and for mountain biking. How did you come up with that criteria for your graduation process?
So I think context, if you don't have, and this is where my HR comes in, if you don't measure anything, if you don't have KPIs, how do you know you've performed? Comes the end of the year at work, you have your KPIs, we have performance reviews. That's how your salary gets increased and promotions and all of that. So I think coming from that background, I had to apply the same to say, how do I know if these ladies have passed everything, have ticked?
And to give them a sense of achievement.
Exactly.
They've got a goal.
Yes.
They achieve it. And you celebrate it.
And you celebrate, and we all celebrate it. You celebrate it with your family, you bring your +1, it becomes a big thing. And I think in running, that is being celebrated quite a lot, where after comrades, you have all these events and there's this prize giving for the year. It's like the financial year end, you know, of running. So I thought, why don't we do something similar? And we do it at the celebration of our birthday year. So our birthday, we started in August, and we then the celebration had to be in September because it's summer, it's nicer, it's spring.
You could wear nicer dresses.
Exactly. So that was the thing. So, but the program runs literally from Jan or mid-Jan to August. And I looked at the criteria in terms of what are the basics that you need without looking at the performance, you know, of average speed and. But what are the basics? So we all need to ride independently without someone helping you to start or things like that. We need to know how to corner. We need to know how to communicate signaling. We need to know how to hydrate. We need to have the right tools. So those are the basic things, whether it be road or mountain bike. Those are the things that you need to be able to ride a bicycle.
100%. And it's key to be able to do. I think you've got your distance, your 60 Ks,
yes.
Whether it's on the road or the mountain bike. I think your mountain bikers ride it on the road though, because 60 Ks off road is tough. Yeah. Your drinking water, your hand signals,
cornering,
cornering,
and independently, ride independently, and use clipless pedals.
Yeah. So,
and have the right tools and have a passport. That's a big thing. So we've got the passport. I know it's got nothing to do with cycling, but I think the goal is, where can your bike take you? So we're not putting any limitations. So everyone to qualify needs to have a passport, so that if we decide we want to go do a race outside of South Africa,
whether it's just across the border, you still need a passport.
Exactly. So that's where we're at.
Oh, that is brilliant. Every time I talk to you, I get much more inspired myself to, like, what can I do more in the cycling industry? And I think in a way that's what this podcast Elevate is about. It's me trying to find ways to give women voices in the industry, which I think it's there, but it's not. I don't think women are celebrated as much as we need to be in the industry. From our stats on our trade surveys, we are about 26% of the market are women. So it's not a lot, but it's growing. I think we've gone up from about 19%.
It's growing. Well, there's many ways that we can do that. It's because we never saw people, we only saw a certain type of people participating.
And it looks like an athlete, like a traditional
Yes, like a modeling. Not everybody wants to be a model, because you need to be this tall, you need to be this, you need to be that. So, but I think the more we break those barriers, then we are making it actually accessible.
Just showing people that it can be done.
Yeah.
And tell me about your Bergenbush experience.
Wow, that was amazing. And thanks to you for that. I remember when we met in December, we were both injured and we had coffee and we're like, why don't you let the ladies try Bergenbush? And I was like, 2 days, I'm not sure, we beginners, will we manage? And you're like, no, but I'll help you through the journey. So I think the journey was more nerve-wracking than the experience. So,
and I think that's how it should be. You need to prepare so much more than what the event is. So the effort that goes in and everything beforehand, and fear of the unknown.
Exactly. So I think it was an experience for all of us. I've done stage races, but not Bergenbush. So it was the fear of the unknown. But I think the experience overall, it just elevated the ladies' experience to say, what are the possibilities? That I didn't know I can be able to go that downhill. Oh my gosh, I was able to climb. Oh my God, I was able to go through the tight spots and in that forest, and I thought I was going to die, and then the cliff was next to me. So those were the experiences that they were sharing with me to say, wow, I thought 50 switchbacks. And at some point they thought, what am I doing here? And they also have grown in terms of what is possible for them.
Opened their eyes.
It's opened the opportunities. And I think the whole entire experience, other than just riding, being able to sleep in tents, being able to interact with other people, other riders, like eating different type of food. Like it was just the whole entire, I guess, experience to say, I didn't know that I can do this. But above all, what made it more memorable is we were doing it together. And I think that settles down the fears, because you know that my sisters are here, we're going to ride together. Yes, maybe we might not ride together all the time, but we will wait for each other. We will encourage each other. And that is what has made it a very memorable and inspirational, so that others can see that. I was going to say,
do you think the message will spread?
Definitely.
That it's doable?
Definitely.
And a good stepping stone to, as I've always said with the Bergenbush event, especially the 2-day, it really is a good stepping stone to other stage races, because some of the stage races are tough. It's logistically easy to get to for us Joburgers, and the distances and the type of riding is It's doable.
And I think the trails for me, what I saw is everything is rideable. Yes, we might not have the skills, but everything is rideable. And I think that for me was like, oh, okay. So everything is rideable, even if I don't have the skills, but it's not as scary as in, I don't know how I'm going to get down here.
Yeah. You start hoping and praying.
Yes. So it was, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful part of the country. It's nice and mixed because there were open roads, there were trails, it was climbs, it was downs, it was forest. It was really a beautiful time out.
I'm so glad that you guys made the effort to go and do that.
And thanks to you.
Yeah, it was a box ticked. You know, what's next for Matsimela? I mean, you've got all your ladies. Once they've come through your graduation process, what is the next phase for them?
So I think just like at school or university, I mean, or anywhere else, you either come back to serve, or you now say, okay, I've got all the skills. I want to perform now. Like I want to now perform. So that's where you can then join any club that will help you elevate to the next level, whether be it on mountain bike, whether be it on road. But what we try and do for those that remain is we then introduce double century, which is next level, so that they've got something to look forward to. And then as well as bag and bush, because we know that this is something that the graduates, they've ticked everything. Now they just need to take their cycling into the next level. And then there's also Cape Town Cycle Tour. So these are the 3 events that our graduates, then they can step up, and it can be a beautiful experience for them. But also what is next for Matsimela Ladies as a whole is we've launched our kids, Matsimela Kids, because the mothers are saying, what about our children? We are having this amazing experience and we want our kids to also have. So it has forced us now to accelerate. And we have a principal, we've MLC principal, who has now launched this Lulama, and it was her idea. It was she's passionate about the children, and she's got the community and the platform, and she's running with it. So that's
I suppose starting them on the journey earlier than the ladies starting in middle age or whatever we are.
Absolutely. So, and I think the biggest thing is they can now understand the cost of a bike. You know, that how important it is to buy my child a bike when they're starting and grow and support as we go along. Whereas in our background, we had to first work to be able to afford a bike. So there was no one. Yes, we had BMXs, but BMX was, like I said, to go buy bread, not to
not to go out and yeah, it was probably the furthest thing from your mind.
Yeah.
You've grown MLC in Gauteng. You started here and it's grown from, how many riders did you have in your first year?
First year, we had 17 graduates.
And now, in year 4?
Year 4, we have 178 members in total, including all
the...
Yeah.
And then you've obviously just mentioned you've got the MLC Kids.
Yeah.
You've got Cape Town started off the ground.
Yep.
Any other provinces on the cards?
So I think the provinces are based on the ladies that come back, because that's how organically it needs to grow. So if there's someone now that goes to Mpumalanga, for example, and they still wanna continue with Matsimela Ladies, that's the area we're gonna go to. So it's strategically where, if you are a group leader, you need to have come from Matsimela Ladies, because the culture is very important to still keep and transfer. So right now, I don't know which province we're going into, but I can tell you there are many new branches in Gauteng where we're going to be, which is Carltonville for 2024. And we're going to have the central branch, I think Johannesburg Central. So that will take our branches to 9 from 7 that we currently have.
That's brilliant. How many ladies have you got entering into the 947 Ride Joburg event this year?
So we are dreaming. It's still a dream because we haven't achieved it. Last year we dreamt of 100 ladies completing 94.7. We came close to 80 medals. So we still need that 20. We still need that.
That's
100.
across the 2 events. Is that right?
No.
The distance, the 2 distances.
Yes.
So
of the 35 and the 97. So this year we want to take it a little bit further to say we would like to have 100 medals, but also we want to have 50 kids that we give back to from the community, from Soweto, that have never had the experience of doing Ride Joburg. So we want to give back. We want to say, if I've got an entry, I also want to take one more person who is in Soweto, who has a bike and want to do the ride. So we want to take it a little bit further than just ourselves.
So giving it forward, paying it forward.
Paying it forward and making the circle bigger.
Always. That's that song always resonates when I see you as well, making the circle bigger.
Always.
What support have you got from the cycling industry?
So we've got amazing partners that partner with us on the journey. Firstly, we've got event partners. So we've got event partners that invite us and maybe they give us a discount so that they make the circle bigger and it's more accessible to us. We've got our, I call it a home. We've got different homes, but from a bicycle home, which is Arc Cycles, we go there to buy bikes and do our workshops, and they help us with all the mechanical or technical things, and our kit is also there. We've got Siovita that keeps innovating our kit, and we have Mofaka Transport that does all our logistics in terms of transport and wherever we want to go. And it is as and when. We also have MTN, Kabuyelo, no brainer. And these partners, I think it's important to mention that it is as and when they can be able to help us along the journey where it aligns. We also have Wahoo now. So we're bringing in, we are attracting different kind of partnerships as and when they see fit. But I think the goal for us is, how do we make this accessible for women? How do we share the knowledge? And how do we make the circle bigger?
And that's great. I mean, I think it is definitely getting bigger. I think most people who ride around Johannesburg, whether it's on the roads, on the trails, are very well aware of MLC and Kabuyelo. Thanks so much, Caroline. It's been awesome chatting to you. Could chat to you all day.
Yeah.
And until the next one.
Thank you so much.
Let's keep elevating the ladies.